What's going on, guys, and welcome to another episode of the 10% Better podcast. My name, of course, is Andrew McGee, and I'll be your host today. And I have, of course, a very special guest, Bellator lightweight Chris the Bad Guy Bungard. How are you doing, Chris?
How are we, Andy boy?
Good, mate. Good. Cheers for coming on. As I say, we've both got a wee bit of time in our hands, I'd imagine, now, so I'm batting out these podcasts as many as I can do in a week possible, so that's how it goes. Chris, of course, is a professional mixed martial artist, but I'll let you give a wee bit of intro about what you do for people that might know MMA or know what you do.
Yeah. My name's Chris. I'm a professional mixed martial artist. For those who don't know what that is, it's basically a sport that involves all the ranges of martial arts, all aspects to your striking, or your basically your boxing, your Muay Thai, judo, any stand-up, to your grappling, i.e. like wrestling, jiu-jitsu when it hits the ground. Obviously, the fights are contested inside a cage, and you can win by either knockout, submission, or by points. So, it seems a bit gruesome sometimes. Maybe some people watching it aren't really educated, or maybe see a bit of blood, some elbows, stuff like that. But the sport on its own is when you know what's going on and the ins and outs. It's a beautiful sport.
It's probably one of the fastest growing, I think, the fastest growing sport in our lifetime for sure. You know.
Yeah, I think it's only like 25 years old or something like that. So round about that. It is actually the fastest growing sport in the world, but it's still very new, very fresh to a lot of people. Some people still don't know what it is, not I mean? So,
yeah.
But it's not like the UK is obviously like a football nation, would you probably say? So there's a lot of people that don't really know what mixed martial arts is, unless they're like, is that the thing Conor McGregor does or something like that? So hopefully we're going in the right direction, mate, anyway, I think.
I think it's funny when you see generationally how things change. Like for people of our generation, it's almost strange not to know what MMA is, and then when you speak to somebody that doesn't know what it is or hasn't got an awareness of it, you look at them as if they get three heads, you know.
Yeah, no, it's always like the casuals you see. Like I used to the doors and that, and the amount of people would come up to me and just say, I couldn't do that, I'm too angry for that sport, or like I wouldn't tap out if I was getting choked. They're like the most common responses you get to people that don't really know too much about the sport.
The people that say, I'm too aggressive for that, I wouldn't be able to stop. You're like, all right, mate, okay. Maybe when you're thinking about things, but when you're in real life and you get somebody across the cage for you, then it's a different story. You know what I mean? Even my first time coming to see you, coming to watch you, genuinely, when I was sitting there, right, I was obviously nervous and all that and this and that, but also in my mind, I genuinely was thinking to myself, thank fuck I don't do that. When you're in there and you hear leg kicks and you hear like the real, because obviously if you're a casual fan or anything, you're only seeing it in the TV, but when you actually go to a live event, then you go, oh shit, this is real, you know.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'll probably get more nervous watching like somebody I like, or my teammate or a friend, than myself actually fighting.
Yeah.
So it's a weird situation, but there's not a lot of people that would do my sport. That's the difference. That's why it's pretty unique, because you always it's in any basic real life situation like with the old fight or flight. And there's not a lot of people that would choose to fight or choose to stand. Like you're not. I think it's like 80% of people like don't like that environment. So that's why they would choose to like back off or run. Not I mean, where if that real life situation happens, like that, I love stuff like that. So I think that's probably how I end up getting into it, because like I've kind of like got not fearless and stuff like that, but like say for instance, I seen like last month I was in Glasgow and there was like just walking down Buchanan Street and there was just this random people, a guy just kicking off with somebody, like just bypassers and being quite aggressive, swinging at them, and people were like running and like screaming, and I was the first one to walk up, like, and like most people won't like, I'll stay away from that crazy guy, you know what I mean, swinging his hands about, where I'm like, no, this is the stuff I want to come into, like, I'm going to take this guy out, you know what I mean? So I think the sport just suits me better.
Aye, and I think that's something as well that obviously with the training and with everything else that's involved in it, you're more battle tested and ready for a multitude of different scenarios, you know. And I mean, even I would say, from my point of view, I would say that MMA training, MMA as a sport is probably one of the fittest athletes that you need, one of the most diverse style athlete that you need in terms of being able to not only know a number of disciplines and a number of different things and be proficient and masterful in some senses in a multitude of them, but also to be cardiovascularly fit, to have explosive power, to have strength, to have resilience. I mean, like there's nothing else really that is getting you through all angles in a better sense of the word, you know.
Yeah, and even like I always go back to this. The Bill Burr's like my favourite comedian, as you probably already know, but he always goes back to like, and I think like mixed martial arts and your exercise, your training in the gym, even stuff that's happening now, obviously in the world, like you need to be fit, you need to be looking after your body. But the Bill Burr thing I was talking about was like real life situations, like if you're not strong enough to basically let somebody do what they want to you, or if you don't know your martial arts to defend yourself, like any real life situation, like you're praying the crazy guy chaps the door next door, you know what I mean, and doesn't come for you. If you don't know how to defend yourself, and you got to be having to like defend your wife, your kids, or whatever, you got to be having to the guy that's jumping behind them to hide, or you know what I mean. And so if you're not taking care of your body, doing your strength work, me personally, I exercise, obviously I'm a bit biased because that's what we do in that, but I think that's the stuff you need to do to look after yourself in real life situations, you know what I mean? So
I think it's a thing that primarily everybody should have to do. For instance, everybody is a sponge in the beginning, right? So you're just a big marshmallow, you're a big sponge, right? If you let yourself go through your life and know either get fit, get strong, learn a martial art, learn some self-defense, train in some aspect, you're always going to be a big sponge. And then if somebody decides, do you know what, I'm going to go and try and push out that sponge, it's going to happen. Whereas if somebody goes, all right, I'm going to try and push out that guy, and he's a rock, then it's a different story, you know.
Like today, today, I'm thinking, like the world's getting closer and closer to going to shit, you know what I mean? So when it does go to shit, where are you got to be?
Exactly.
You got to be the guy with the bog roll, or you got to be getting your bog roll to cafe? That's
That's a good point.
I'm just thinking, like, these shelves are empty, but like if I need something, you know what I mean, I'm going to take it. I've people to score it, you know what I mean? So
100%.
It's survival of the fittest, you know what I mean? So
how are you kind of handling the full lockdown situation mentally, physically? Because obviously you're an active guy and it's restricting things. How are you dealing with it?
So like last week I was ill. I was ill for like 7-8 days. And really bad. My stomach was fucked basically. It wasn't the virus. It wasn't the COVID. No symptoms. Even though just back to New York, people are like, you've got to have it, man. Yeah. It's like rife over there. But like the streets were dead. I was happy as Larry, just doing my thing. But like, I'm never in the house. I'm never ever in the house. So I think that was a big part for me. I think that's why I was actually made me not well. So I wasn't getting my proper exercise. Like I mean proper, like grappling, like striking, sparring, the runs that I usually do, stuff like that. And I wasn't eating properly. So I think just being shacked up like a prisoner, getting my wee jog in a day, even my house workouts weren't as good. I wasn't getting the right sweat up that I wanted or the right workout. Yeah. That could be down to being ill or not push myself or just like the space. I've no space in my flat, so between that and not, I'm starting to feel better the past couple of days, thank God. But yeah, it's starting to really get to me now that like I'm not. I like lying in my bed. Don't get me wrong. After a few sessions a day, but
Yeah.
like 24 hours a day is not good for me at all. So.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm going to end up breaking rules, man. But like, I need to get out of this house, man, before like my mental health goes through the roof.
100%. I mean, I think there's a difference, like you say, of lying in bed after deserving to lie in bed after a training session, and I think the same as well. Like when people that are intense, either athletes or people that exercise a lot, when they chill out, it's because they deserve to chill out because they've put in a certain amount of work to warrant that. But when you're saying to somebody, by the way, everything that you've done so far, just scrap that, and you're going to be relaxing all the time, you're going to be in the house. Like, I know I'd said to you the other day, what's this, week 4 that we're into now, and like, the first week I was like, right, okay, structuring things, which is kind of still the case. I've still got a structured day and all that, but it got to the whole Bill Murray Groundhog Day scene where I'm waking up and it's the same song that's playing at 7 a.m. and I'm looking out the window and it's the same people walking past the street and the same snowfall, and I'm like, man, this is like, there's no surprise, there's no mystique, like you know exactly what's going to happen. And then at night time when you're going to sleep or you're sitting up and watching the telly at 12 o'clock at night knowing that you're going to bed, you're going, all right, okay, what have I actually done today? You know? Yeah, and another thing as well, like the home workout side of things, home workouts, the best way I look at it is if you're used to driving a Ferrari and then you've drove a Ferrari for years and somebody says to you, there's a 882 Fiesta, go and drive that and see if you've got the same driving experience. It's just not the case. Like, we're used to doing a multitude of different exercises, we're used to pushing ourselves to a certain limit. You just can't do that in the house, you know.
I know you yourself's a man of clockwork, can't mean, so I know.
And that as well. I mean that.
You, man.
That
you.
The amount of things that I'm used to, and my whole thing is routine with everything in my life. Absolutely everything. If it's exercise, if it's business, if it's whatever, it's routine. I know what I'm doing on this day, that day, and I'm achieving things. When you take all that away from me and say, go and sit in the house and literally just exist for it, it feels like what a jail would be.
I know.
You know?
I love the people were saying, oh, you're told to sit in the house, it's easy and all that. Like, it's easy for people that maybe enjoy stuff like that, but people that never are in the house, that are busy, that have got a routine, it can be hard, it can be mentally tough.
But they're also the same people that say, like, if somebody has a friend or a relative that dies, they're the same people that go, but it could be worse, you could be in Africa and all your family could have got killed last week by the government. And you're going, how does that help me? You know what I mean? Like, what kind of shitty comparison is that? Like, it's for me, I think that a couple of things are going to happen. Number one, you obviously you have to somehow try and take a positive stance from it, and I'm taking as many positives as I can from it. I'm doing things that I might not have had time to do. My exercise isn't where it was. My certain things work wise obviously aren't where they were, but I'm trying to improve myself as much as I can from it, and knowing that on the back end that as soon as things are back to normal and as soon as lockdown's over, for me, from my point of view, when that happens, it's going to be a case of when you go through the toll booth and then all the cars zoom off straight away. Like that's going to be my mindset. I'm going to be thinking, right, okay, how do I get back to where I was as quick as I possibly can, and then better from that again, you know? So that's really the only positives you can take for it, if anything.
How do you think they're going to do it? Like, do you think there'll be like a countdown? Like,
like the millennium.
Everybody go back to their normal life. Like 12 o'clock at night. Like they don't like. How's it got to work, man?
I think that what's going to happen is they'll say. So, for instance, this Thursday, tonight is when they announce what they're going to be doing. This is Thursday, the 16th of April. So they're going to announce. By the way, we've got another 3 weeks that you're going to be under lockdown. I think that's going to be the first thing they'll announce, and then if I think that gets to maybe the 10th of May or something, when that date comes, I think there'll be restrictions in place. So there will be like massive concerts and all that kind of stuff. I think will be probably restricted. I think that they'll have like 15 or 20 people can only be in a space at one time. That whole kind of thing. I think realistically that's going to be the case.
Do you think we'll ever be the same again?
Oh, for sure. I think we'll be the same again the end of this year. Like I don't think the only thing I think there'll be with long-term effects will be a better awareness of disease control. But again, that's not something that we do, so that'll be a government decision. Probably a better decision based on that. And also I think a more appreciation for getting out to the park, getting to exercise, going to gyms, going to restaurants, we eat with your mates, going to the pub, like that'll all be heightened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you tell somebody no to do something, the first thing they want to do is do it. You know what I mean? So I think that will be heightened for sure. But I don't think they'll be long term.
The gyms, like your gym and my MMA gym, they've got to be bouncing.
100%.
There's got to be like the old Raw days back in the day when it was just free for all. Everybody just running in, doing their finisher, Stone Cold stunning everybody. And that's just got to be like sparring. Will be like that, man.
I think it will be a slingshot effect as well. What about obviously for you in terms of Bellator? Have they said anything regarding fighting or regarding getting ready for any days this year? Or
yeah, they just basically emailed all the fighters, basically said everything's on pause, basically. Mm-hmm. So just about the virus, nothing about it we didn't know anyway.
Aye, I think every major sports team's the same.
I think Vinnie Mac's the only man that can fucking let the show go ahead.
Did you see the thing this morning that had come out that WWE's been classed as essential business?
With Trump. That was it with Trump.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Because obviously you had Dana White was trying to do the whole Fight Island thing and everything, right? My opinion on it, I loved it.
Hans Island.
Aye, exactly. I absolutely loved it. I thought to myself,
who wouldn't they want to go to an island to fight? Not me.
Oh, it's like blood sport.
You know.
It's like back in the day, blood sport.
Look, if they stick by the rules, everybody's tested.
Mm-hmm.
There's a social distancing. Like I'm game for it. Not me.
I know.
It's got to be weird how they're going to fly the fighters in. They've got to private fly them all in, or
mm-hmm.
that could be quite weird. That it's just got to be American fighters.
Yeah.
Try to fly people for Europe, that could be tough. I mean,
because I think they had a casino and Indian burial ground in California, so that was going to be where the American fights were happening. So I think the Indian burial grounds basically have no rules essentially, or have different rules. Man. And I think Dana managed to acquire that casino and say, right, okay, everything's in place, we're good, like that's fine for the American fighters. And then the island, wherever that was going to be, that's where the international fights were going to happen, because you had like Alistair Overeem, he put up something about he was going on a private jet and basically said you'll find out in a couple of hours what's going to be happening. So they were starting to get people from Europe and from the rest of the world to this private island. But I think definitely the same as yourself, that if the correct precautions are put in place where they're tested, there's social distancing in terms of production staff, there's obviously not going to be any fans or anything like that there. I mean, I didn't see it as being an issue, and if anything, the people that are there are going to be far safer than people that are getting into the supermarkets.
Yeah, man.
Because if you've got athletes who are looking after their health, their immune systems are well, and they've all been tested, I mean, what's the issue?
I was in Asda yesterday and it was like a free for all. So I don't know what they're thinking about or there, man, in Motherwell. Tesco's like obviously queued out the door now, but Asda was just like in and out, people just doing what they want it. Yeah.
And all these places like that, that's why I said for day one, and my stance won't change on this, is that they spoke about having to shut down businesses and stuff like that, right? Fair enough, I understand it. But don't have a setting precedent when it comes to your supermarkets. So, for instance, you're basically getting a load of people in that are touching the same trolleys and the same shelves and the same baskets that aren't sanitised every 2 seconds. The people that are in the supermarkets, let's be honest, a lot of them are unhealthy, overweight, low immune systems. So, and you're bunching them beside each other. So where is the consistency with the message, you know?
Yeah.
But supermarkets are businesses that will make an absolute killing off these first 2 quarters.
Yeah.
You know, but I think obviously the thing with Dana White is that the ESPN and Disney guys overruled him, I think, and basically said, look, love what you've done, love your enthusiasm. You guys have been trailblazers from day one about getting things done regardless, but we're going to postpone this and we're not going to go ahead with this, you know. But I mean, hats off to the guy for nearly pulling it off. You know what I mean?
I know.
That's
he's just brought out this other fight card.
For me.
So what? So what's this got? Is this got to be in this island? Or is this got to be in the casino?
Mm-hmm.
Where has this got to take place?
I did see that. I think it's the start of May. I think it's like the 10th of May or the 15th of May or something. Unless they think that everything's going to be back to normal, then maybe that's a month from now. But I don't see that being the case. You know, as much as obviously Donald Trump is trying to push for it, which again another trailblazer, another boy's boy, as you would say, as a president. He's just trying to get shit done. You know. But I still don't think it will. I don't think it will happen between now and then. You know. What about kind of? Have you took up anything? I've seen you've been posting things about crazy amounts of Lego and Star Wars stuff and all that. What's the script here? Have you took up hobbies or anything?
Well, I bought the Lego Death Star because I thought. Plus, I've always wanted to build it since I've been a wee boy.
Mm-hmm.
But I've not built Lego in about fucking 20 years, know what I mean? So I was like, right, I'll buy the Lego Death Star, I'll do me through all this quarantine, I'll kill a bit of time. Obviously, I'm a Star Wars fan as well, but I used to love Lego when I was a wee boy.
Yeah.
But I used to always see this, I think I seen it somewhere and I was like, I want that. But it's like, fuck, it's huge, man. It's like 4,000 pieces.
Jesus.
I know. It's quite expensive for Lego.
what kind of time frame are you talking about, man-hours, to get the thing built?
Well, I thought it would have took me a couple of months, but so last night I get to the end, the very last bit, right? So I'm trying to put the two sides together and on, and there's just not going in, 2 of them, and I'm trying to hold this before it all smashing. I'm like the guy who chewing the fat who always just loses his shit at the end and just fucking wrecks the whole place, man. And it kept popping out, and the bottom bit kept popping out, and I'm just like, oh no, what's going on here? So I got to the problem basically that the 2 bits were completely wrong.
Jesus.
So I just put it down last night. I'm like, nah, I'm going to fucking freak, so I need to take it all apart again.
Oh, no way.
The 2 bits, because basically it should have been flushed to go in, and 1 bit stuck out, because I read the circles wrong at one part. So that's back to the drawing board.
That's a real way to build your patience. Like I honestly, I take my hat off to you. I couldn't do it.
But the thing is, as you'll probably appreciate, like, we know where we went wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, we know where the problem is, so we can go back. Plus, we've got all the time in our hands. I can fix it and I can do it. Calm.
Yeah.
A wee bit of meditation. Don't wreck the place, and then we'll get it done the day probably.
And is this Death Star like the biggest one that you can do? Is this like the most complex one?
Yeah, it's like they made it. I think it was like 20 years ago. It was made that you can't buy it anymore.
Oh really?
They buy it off eBay. They buy it off eBay, and so I'm moving house. Well, my new house is getting built.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have a cinema room.
Mm-hmm.
One of my rooms got to be a cinema room. So I was going to contemplate selling it back on eBay, but I think I'm just going to keep it for my cinema room.
That would be cool.
We'll see, man. We'll see if I get it finished tonight and I don't smash it. Then I'll get a wee picture of it.
The cool, as you say, if you sold it, you could make some money off it. But for people who are into Star Wars
and $3,000 and stuff like that, man. I've seen people yesterday selling them for $2,500, $3,000 and all. I'm like, Jesus, man.
Oh, it'll be crazy price. But for people that are into either Star Wars or into Lego, when they see something like that's a cool thing to have. You know what I mean?
And it's good for the mind as well. Obviously, it's perfect timing to do something like that. I seen like David Beckham is like obsessed with Lego. He does all the massive ones, and Posh Spice is always filming them, like laughing at it, zooming in on the age on the box because it's like plus 15 and stuff like this, like plus 8-year-olds and all that. And she'll zoom in on David Beckham, and he's like pure, just zoned in on this big, like 10-foot Defender, like Lego Defender car that he's building and all that. Does all like the Disney castles and that. Like, so I'm like, well, if it's good enough for Beckham, it's good enough for me. You know what I mean? You're
right about that. Well, when are you due to move in? Is it October this year? Is everything still a go, or has it been?
I took a drive up yesterday, just to see what was happening, because like there's like 2 houses getting built before mine, so it's like you know how it fucking works.
Yeah.
But all the builders are still there. They're all grafting away. Like there's a house already up since the last time I went up. So I don't think they've took any time off, or until the government pure shut them down. So that's good for me, because they keep building, then I'm going to be in sooner. Not me.
100%. And even for the construction industry is going to be the first people that are back on board. Like regardless, you know what I mean?
But I think it maybe be like December time. But all I was thinking about was if I was in the now, because I'm going to build a big garage for my gym out the back and like mat it out, and I was like, if I was in the now, I'd have my own wee gym, I would just be isolating myself, just working it.
Yeah.
But so in the meantime, obviously my papa passed away, as you know, like, so I've got his house. So it didn't click to my head. Obviously I want to do like outside sessions. Where I stay, like my neighbours out the back, man, honestly, like it's a weird setup before. It's like it's not like 4 in a block, it's kind of like 6 in a block. There's like somebody downstairs and somebody at the side, but it's like a communal back garden. And when I say devil dog, like there's like three devil dogs.
Jesus.
And they all just sit out the back, and I'm like, I've nothing wrong with them. Like they all sit out the back and just all day drink and just shout and talk. You know what I mean? I'm for the council streets of Halton, so I grew up on that. But it's not somewhere I want to go out the back and do a workout, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
I don't want to go out there and start fucking doing sprawls and
throwing high kicks,
and fucking shadow box, you know what I mean?
And the worst, the worst thing is when there's a dog that you don't know what's going to happen.
Oh, man,
nothing worse.
So I kind of keep myself in a bit here. Like, I don't really think anybody knows my name and stuff like that. So I had to go out my back because there was something wrong with my meter for my gas and stuff. And there's like balconies like across to me, and then out of nowhere they're all like shouting, "Oh, Eddie's here!" Like Chris, and then I'm like, I've got my hood up, and I'm like, "Oh no!" And this dog runs there, and they're like, "Oh, when's your next fight?" And I didn't even know anybody knew I stayed here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bastard. All this dog's just ran up to me, and I'm like, "Oh, he's all right, but he's drooling and showing me his teeth and all." I'm like, "I'm in my flip flops," you know what I mean? Fucking try pull guard on a Rottweiler, man.
Did you ever hear the time that Bass Rutten low kicked a dog and knocked it out? That's brilliant. Bass Rutten low kicked I think it was a Rottweiler as well. The dog ran over to him, started growling at him. He basically says to the guy, "Look, get a hold of it." Guy says, "Oh, it's fine, I won't bite you." So he low kicks the dog, knocks the dog clean out, right? He says, and then I'm standing arguing with the guy. The dog comes back to and it looks, growls at me. I growl back at it and it runs away. So absolutely brilliant. That's what I was picturing there.
Oh, that's what I say. Like, dogs are vicious, man. You need to go for it, man.
See,
something's got to attack you.
If I've thought about it, I've had weird as hell conversations with people that I know and things like that about what would you do if a panther got to you, a tiger, a dog, all that kind of stuff, right? See if a specific dog gets to you, I know there used to be the whole thing about, if you grab this area and do that, listen, you have got a couple of options, right? And this is, I hope Peter's not listening to this because I'm going to lose a lot of fans for Peter. But if you're 100%, if you're fighting a dog, your only option is to burst its eyes. Said that to Claire before and she hates hearing it. Is to burst its eyes or run away. Because, even a pit bull or something that's £80, £90, like, that power's insane.
Yeah.
You know, there was a dog back in the day when I was a kid that every time you seen it, me and all my friends just used to jump the garden. Because you just...
Especially when they lock their jaw, man. They lock your jaw on you, like...
Game over.
You're not teeing off one. Have you ever seen the video, like, the guys, like, with a tiger and he just kind of, like, curls into a ball and the tiger just basically picks him up and just
runs
takes
with
him away?
Aye.
Oh, like, that is the most scariest thing I've ever seen in my life. Because I'm just thinking that guy's just been mauled apart, man. He's just been took to his death, you know what I mean?
And he's a grown man.
The thing is, the idiots that go anywhere near the cage or in the cage or put their horn next to the cages, they deserve everything they get, to be fair. I've just been that stupid, man.
Natural selection. If you if you're walking towards a bomb and you're going, somebody, the faith of this is going to stop me from getting blown up here. Natural selection. You deserve to get blown up. You deserve to get your hand bit off by a tiger. But I did see that tiger, and I had the exact same thought process as you. I was scared that is able to be done. The guy was a fully grown man. The tiger, we'll not put a link in the description, but the tiger grabs the guy's back and runs away with him at full force.
It was a 10-8 rounds, man.
100% was.
But as I was saying, like, obviously I can't work out here, so I didn't even think. I was like, I've got my papa's house there. Like, it's got a big back garden. So I was like, right, we'll go down there. Perfect. Had my outdoor workout. Some round shadow boxing, which was blowing the fucking hole at me, man. Like, I done a wee 3 minute. I was like, Jesus, man, because I hadn't done it in months. Not me. I don't think I'd done it since my fight. And then I was like, right, because I need to punch on. I need to grab on to punch on.
Yeah.
So I end up getting a punch bag for my gym and hanging it up in my papa's shed where he kept his car. So I put it up last night. So I'm going to have a wee couple of rounds on the bag tonight. Just myself, like, nobody stays there, so it's not breaking any of these rules, shall we say. Yeah,
even that will make a big difference as well. Just being able to actually go out and do something that's close to what you were doing before, you know. To switch a 180 here, obviously for people that don't know, Chris is a big wrestling fan, as am I, big WWE fan, big wrestling fan. You get the network there, didn't you? Month free with WWE Network. So
well, I thought it was a month free, and it cut out during the first WrestleMania night, and then I must have got a month ages ago, and then it's like just basically ran out. So I had to actually subscribe to it, but I mean it's amazing. The network's great, man. You can take a trip down memory lane and all the wee programs like yourself you watch, like, they're all great, man. So that's been really good this quarantine anyway.
I mean, I'm a massive fan as well of looking at all the... I was a massive WCW fan back in the day. Like, that was my thing. As you know, Kevin Nash is my guy. Always has been, always will be. And
I was going to tag you in a picture last night. Like, he chokeslammed my mate Davey Blaze.
Oh, really?
And it was like there's a picture, like, Davey's like about 10 feet in the air, like, during the chokeslam.
Brilliant.
It was his first ever match. He's a 16-year-old. And he gets chokeslammed as Kevin Nash. I'm like, I was like, Andy would love that, man.
Was that at the Hydro? The ICW,
No, I think it was a PBW show.
All right, okay.
WB show or something. I'll send you later, man. But it's a solid picture, man. It's something that you'd be proud of.
That's absolutely brilliant, because I mean the thing I really like with the WWE Network as well is they've got, fair enough, even if you're not a wrestling fan, right, even if you don't like wrestling matches, see the amount of, like, what I would class as kind of subdomain content that they've got, which is like your documentaries on the wrestling business, documentaries on the athletes, the kind of spin-off programs, this whole Total Bellas thing and all that. Like, they've they've really got entertaining content and engaging content, you know.
Yeah.
And then obviously
I'm loving the ruthless aggression programs.
Mm-hmm.
They're amazing. I was a massive Evolution fan back in the day. Like when I first started getting back into wrestling, like Bret Hart was always my fucking number one. But when I first started getting back in there, like I was a massive Randy Orton fan back in the day, like the Legend Killer when he was just coming in, and like when they go with Evolution, I loved it, man. And then to watch the Evolution program, it was good because they had a bit of everything in them. It was obviously the Evolution to like Ric Flair, to Triple H, to Batista, and Orton is like the future. So I watched that. I watched the Lesnar one. Fuck, what an athlete! What an absolute unit, man. Like, just don't even like just his wrestling career, his pro wrestling, to the UFC that he had a wee bit with the NFL. Like, the guy's just a winner, man, and like, and I love his style. Like he doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't like all the technology. He's got his big acres of land, likes all his farming and stuff like that. And like, that's a real man. And he just does it his way. Like, I know, obviously, like maybe a wee bit of tainted supplement here and there, but like he's still a natural born winner.
Oh, aye. I mean, someday I watched the Lesnar interview with Stone Cold Steve Austin, the Broken Skull Sessions thing that he did, and even just to hear like how he lives and where he's from. I mean, the best way to look at it is that in the world you need Brock Lesnar's, right? You just need that. Doesn't matter politically correct or no or this or that. You need Brock Lesnar's, and he understands that, and he's going to ride the wheels off Brock Lesnar until it falls off. You know what I mean? He's embracing, like, do you know what? I live out on a ranch. I've got cattle. I don't like people. I'm not a people person, and I'm aware of that, and I'm alright with that. You know what I mean? And obviously, as an athlete, he's just another level. You know, closely relating to him being a actual NCAA wrestler. You've got Kurt Angle, who yesterday just get paid off, unfortunately. I think I don't know how much they were using him. I don't know how relevant it was in the sense of marketing and money and stuff. He's always a legend. I mean, he's been there for years, but I just think that they furloughed a lot of people like every business did, and they had to basically just lay off some people. And as much as like the fans could say, "Oh, that's terrible, you should have kept him on," go and have a look at the WWE wage bill. Go and have a look at their expenses, and then come and speak to me.
I seen the thing is with it, Angle's different. Like, I'll be honest with you, I didn't know he was probably still on the payroll with him. But obviously he's been used for certain things. But I seen some videos yesterday, like all these wrestlers like putting videos up crying and stuff like that. Yeah. See, when it comes to wrestling, like sometimes you don't know what's a work and what's not. Yep. Because it then cuts into this wrestler, then cuts into, I've got one more fight left with NXT or whatever it was, and I'm going to put my heart and soul in it. I'm going to give everything I've got, and I'm just like, hey, is this a work? Yeah. What's going on here? Like, so, but I seen a lot of people were sad yesterday about like losing their jobs and like friends. I've got like quite a few wrestling friends that are in common with like friends with these people that are obviously losing their jobs and that. So I could see that like something had happened yesterday, and so I kind of looked into it, and I could see that WWE let a lot of people go. So I'm assuming it's through. Is it through the virus? Is there time up?
No, it's basically just. I think it's just the current situation with the coronavirus. Because, for instance, like WWE are used to selling, say, 20,000 tickets every event. I'm just using that as an example. So if they're not getting the income of the 20,000 ticket sales because there's no fans allowed to go to these things, that would obviously take a hit on them. But on the flip side of that, what I would also say is, if I'm Vince McMahon and I've got somebody who isn't performing the way I want them to be, or maybe just doesn't have it, this is a good time to get rid of them and then use that as a slight excuse that it's the coronavirus.
Aye.
You know what I mean?
It's a smart move, but like you would think a brand like WWE, man, I don't think they would get the type that would penny pinch. You know what I mean? You get me?
I think back in the day, before they were remember they changed to a PLC, so they've got shareholders now. So Vince,
Right.
that's why the Attitude Era stopped, because as soon as they became a public limited company, they were traded in the New York Stock Exchange. They then basically had to say, right, okay, as a PLC, our main priority is our shareholders and maximising their returns. So
Right, okay.
if the now, for instance, their shareholders can see everything with the books, right? So their shareholders will be looking at it and going, your wage bill is 40 million quid a year, as an example. Your usual income is 140 million quid a year. You've lost 2 months worth of income, which means that your income this year is only going to be 100 million, but you've still got that 40 million wage bill. We want you, because Vince has got a board of directors now that will be basically pushing him. So they'll say, we want you to get rid of that expense. How are you going to do it? You know what I mean? And then they'll go, right, okay, well, we need to get rid of these kind of guys.
I think they've went in a room and says, basically, Hurricane Helms isn't got to be the next WWE champion. Get him out of here.
But I think that's no far off of what the conversation was. But on the flip side, though, when it all gets back to normal,
that's what I was going to say. Do you think once it's back to normal, you think he'll get the phone call back, or?
I think you'll get the phone call back, and if you don't get the phone call back, then you know that you weren't let go because of the coronavirus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know you were let go because of your performance.
You need to go and work in your game, like
Drew McIntyre,
fellow Scotsman, who is a perfect story in it. Really,
brilliant. I mean, for me, like, I remember my first thing seeing this guy was STV, and it's good because we're talking about a Scottish guy, because he'll know what we're talking about if he ever, well, obviously he's a subscriber, but STV.
I don't know, he doesn't really like me much. I was giving him a bit of tight on Twitter, man. I got so much hate after Rangers fans.
Oh, really?
It's unbelievable. I'm still getting it today.
Was this just because of WrestleMania?
No, because he started a wee thing with Chris Sutton on Twitter, so they were going back and forth, Sutton and Drew McIntyre about Celtic and Rangers. And Drew's like, oh, you were always in Henrik's shadow, and then Sutton's like, oh, you're a pumped up Amaruso and stuff like that. So I'm getting all these tags like, oh, fight Drew McIntyre, and like,
Jesus.
Like I was supporting Drew obviously for Mania, and I knew he was going to win. But then I said something like, Rangers fans clinging on to Drew McIntyre, he'll beat Lesnar because it'll be the only fucking gold to win all season. Something like that. It did not go down too well, man. Thousands just feel like, I was like, the funniest one I got was, you lost to a guy called Brent Primus, you can't see anything. What does
that even mean? You know what I mean?
They're slagging because of the guy's name, you know what I mean?
Jesus
so
Christ.
I was like, right, you're right, you man. Like, you tapped to a neck crank, I'm like, right, you win again. I'm just clicking on these profiles, and some of them are hilarious. Like, I would love to neck crank some of these cunts just to see it, if they know what it felt like, not me. But, so it was like, me against Drew, and all. Like, I said, I like Drew, I think he's got to win, I'm going to be supporting him, but, so it took a wee bit of a turn, but it was pretty funny, actually.
That's hilarious. Because, I mean, even that was the first kind of time that I'd seen him, was on STV, and there was this big 6'5" guy with long hair, and he was Scottish, and he was jacked, and I was like, all right, okay. And I think at the time, like, I don't even know if he was wrestling with ICW at the time, or if he was just up in the Ayrshire kind of kicking about, but I was like, all right, okay, that's pretty interesting. And then you started to see, like, WWE, there was a whole news thing about, they've signed him, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Signed him. Obviously, wasn't up to scratch. Let him go. Took him back in at the time through, I think it was like, it wasn't even like the Performance Centre at the time they had, I'm sure it was like Tampa Bay something. So there was like some kind of developmental program that they brought him in against for. And fast forward a couple of years, and the guy has just won a world title at WrestleMania. Yeah,
it's the perfect. That'll be a great film, Andy. That's a movie that should be written. Isn't it's a perfect story for somebody that's maybe came across like second place or failure in their life, that they can always back to the drawing board. I'm not keen up. This is still my dream. And now, look at it. He just beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, albeit he didn't get his moment, and I don't care what anybody says.
There was nobody there. That was a bit of
It was weird to watch because you could just. I remember I watched the first match. It was like the women's tag team titles, and it was the two Asian girls against the champions. I can't remember their names.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just constant screaming,
Aye.
and it was just like, this is quite hard to watch. This is where you really need the crowd. You know what I mean?
Aye.
So
I thought that as well. I did think that as well. I mean, like you wrestle for the fans, and being there and winning the world title at WrestleMania, like you want a crowd pop, you want an atmosphere, and obviously the guy is emotional when he wins it. But to then just be emotional in a ring where Brock Lesnar's lying on the deck and there's a referee there and there's a couple of cameras, like,
I know.
You want him to be able to win it in a better circumstance.
I seen him saying like, but everybody will remember the time the world stopped, and that was the time. Like,
I don't buy that.
Like, I would still want like 80,000 people gone mental. I'm lifting the belt up.
Yeah,
you probably be greeting.
Yeah,
I seen that the other Scottish girl. She won the tag belts, and also it was a pretty good night for old Scottish at old WrestleMania.
100%. I mean, and don't get me wrong. There's the potential chance that this guy will win again. You know what I mean? Like potentially lose the belt and win the belt again. But it is a crazy good accomplishment. On you go.
My first and only time in the wrestling ring, I was part of Barramania 3 in the Barrowlands, and I had a wee segment part with some of the wrestlers, but Drew McIntyre was the main event that night, and it was like a barbed wire match against Jack Jester.
Oh really?
And I'm through the back with him, and he was wearing like a Scotland rugby top, and I was like, that guy is huge, man. And I was just looking, I was like, right, this is what a wrestler's supposed to look like. You know what I mean? He had the figure.
Yeah.
And they came back, the two of them were fucking gushing with this barbed wire. I'm like, fucking hell, man. Like, so it was quite cool to be behind the scenes, see how the wrestlers speak to each other, warm up, the crowd. But that fucking accent of his has got to go, man. It's got to go.
It's
I
a
know he needs
strange...
to kind of Americanise that a wee bit for the fans out there, but no, you need to stay true. Just stay true to who you are. Like, you've got a stupid accent like you do, man. No, man, just need to roll with it.
It's a strange accent when you hear the Americans or the Scottish or English trying to sound American, and a guy will bring up like that it twangs out every so often is Michael Bisping, right?
Yeah.
Bisping, I love him, think he's great, right? But every so often you'll hear him go, motherfucker, and I'll be like, wait a minute here, wait a minute, what nationality are we here?
I know. So there's I think see when it comes down to like, see if I ever had to like do like a wrestling promo being Scottish, and I can do interviews talking about real fighting, like because it's real, it's just the way it's natural. You see when you're having to cut a promo on like somebody that you're going to not really batter, being from Scotland, it just doesn't sound right at all.
Yeah.
And it's hard. I seen a video yesterday on Facebook as a Scottish rapper for Fife.
Oh, Jesus.
Right, so I was like, I click on it, and I'm like, it was a music video. The music video was cool. It was in Fife and a wee tunnel in flats, but like I thought it was a bam up, but it was the guy's legit, and like I liked the lyrics and I liked the guitar bit, but him just rapping,
it's
like,
tough.
Him just rapping, I was like, oh, this doesn't sound right, man. So I think we're just got a weird accent that we're cursed with it.
I think
everybody just thinks like groundskeeper Willie out of The Simpsons. It's just like
I think you're right. Like the majority of stuff is Americanized, and when you hear Scottish people or they discuss Scottish people, like you always hear them talking about like as a joke almost, like, oh, can I understand? Like, I mean, even when you look at this was brilliant. Paul had a UFC interview, right? And it's brilliant. I'll send you the link for that. It was on YouTube, and it says it says, if Mighty Mouse can do it in 89 seconds or 90 seconds, I can do it in 89, right? But he says it quickly, and the guy turns around and says to him, he's like, I'm sorry, I've no idea. Absolutely no idea what he says there, and you can realise it because it's so quickly said, and with this accent, like it must be a nightmare for them to even understand it. You know what I mean?
It's so true, though, isn't it? It's so true, man.
Oh, aye, 100%. I think just to end on the wrestling part, the question I've got to ask for you, right? And this is something that I only really started potentially thinking this recently after I watched Wrestling in the Shadows, right?
Okay.
Here is the question. Do you think that there's a potential that the whole Montreal screw job was potentially a work?
No.
Not one part?
Not at all. I followed it for years, and I can remember watching it at the time, and I was emotionally invested in it. I was like, I was here, it was hurting. But like, I've met Brett a few times, and just through all the documentaries I've watched, obviously the Wrestling with Shadows one is obviously the most one because it was actually getting filmed at the time. Which was weirdly, if you do think about it that way, like, why is that getting filmed? I know you're thinking there, but obviously he was going to WCW or that. I don't know, man. Like, I honestly think he knocked out Vince McMahon. Know what I mean? Like, so I don't think too many people are getting away with doing something like that if it wasn't merited. Kind of, you know what I mean? Surprised Brett was they took away after that and fucking disappeared.
I think I also don't think that it was a work, right? But it did put it in my mind, and then I thought to myself, because obviously the documentary was being filmed at the same time and all that kind of stuff, and that it would be very hard, like, for him not to know. And I know, like, Hebner and all that said, like, we had to lie to him, and Sean said he didn't know anything about it, which is probably BS, right? But see if it was a work, right? I mean, I take my hat off to Vince McMahon as it is. See if that was a work, game over. Like, I'm bowing to you for that.
Because still to this day it's working, you know what I mean?
100%. Like, that's probably one of the best things in wrestling if that was the case, you know. What? On you go.
What you gonna say? I was going to say, I just think when I got to WCW, though, it was just so poorly used.
Terribly.
Bischoff, I like Eric Bischoff, but like coming from WWE, from doing that to Vince McMahon and being a 5-time champion, and I think there's just so much stuff he could have probably done with Bret Hart. My personal favourite was where he called out Goldberg, saying that he was trying to get the fight with Stone Cold, and he's like, well, I beat Stone Cold every time I ever fought him and all that. The place goes mental, calls out Goldberg comes out, hits him with a spear, and they're just lying there for ages. Bret rolls him out, pins him, takes his hockey top off, and he's got a steel plate there on his
I remember that.
The Goldberg could spear the steel plate, and it was and the whole place went mental. Pure proper old school WCW crowd. Didn't give a shit, know what I mean? You're like, this is what he's all about. Then he's like, Bischoff, WCW, I quit, and just storms out. Know what I mean? I'm like, this is gold. This is the best thing he's ever done. So I just think, and then I think they end up beating some Benoit or Hogan or Goldberg for a title, and then Goldberg obviously broke his neck. But they're just like, Bret Hart was like, and for wrestling in the ring was the best ever for me. Wasn't too bad, wasn't too the best on the mic, but when he turned a wee bit heel when he was going against America and stuff for that, he was bringing some of his good stuff out, and then the whole Goldberg thing with the steel plate was probably his best. But as an in-ring technician, I thought he was the greatest.
Oh, aye, and I mean, like, I completely agree. Like, he, from his star power and his pull power for viewership from the WWE, being one of the biggest guys, to know, like, you couldn't be any hotter coming away from that whole Bret Screwed Bret thing, right? and to be then put in the icebox for X amount of months and no used, right? I think realistically the reason why that was is because, and I couldn't be any deeper into looking at WCW as a business and the back end and the documentaries and the whole Turner thing and everything. I think the reason why that happened is because when Brett came to WCW, it was just such a zoo of things that were just, I mean, Nash was doing the booking basically. Goldberg wasn't happy that he was going to lose his streak. Like that, Ted Turner, he liked WCW, but all his executives hated it, and they were all the ones that were trying to basically pull it, get the money away from it. So I think it was a shit show when Brett went there, but he could have been huge.
I actually see when Brett moved because I was so gutted. I ended up. I'm going to tune into WCW now because it was on like Channel 5 or something on a Friday night. And I used to sit in, just waiting, and I'm like, where the fuck is Bret Hart, man? Why are they not using him? Why is he not? So I think Bischoff knows that himself, that he could have done more with Bret Hart, but
Well, the old WCW I remember watching was on TNT, and it was channel 121. It was on the old black cable boxes with the red. If you remember that, with the red, you're from a similar area and a similar age, so with the red thing.
Of course I do, because it was like Sky Sports on like 34 or something like that.
Aye, and this was like 121 TNT that I used to watch every night, and obviously like at that age, that was everything. Like for me, I done the exact same. I would stay up, I would watch Nitro, like it was brilliant. You know what I mean? And then they obviously sold it and changed it, and Vince bought it, and it became just a bit of I don't think that was the right move, but that's another story, you know. What are you watching just now in terms of being on lockdown? Are you're a big guy for DVDs and stuff? You watching films or series or what?
So I ended up going back to watching The Wire, which is like one of my all-time favourite TV shows. Obviously, it's rated like the greatest.
Yeah.
But I went back to watch that. I went back and watched The Shield again. So I've rattled day two, and I'm just basically on my iPad now these days on Netflix. Stranger Things and comedians. I'm loving a comedian now that I've seen in the comedy store in Hollywood called Sebastian.
Right.
He's like an Italian guy, but I seen him when I was in America, and he's hilarious. So I've been watching. He's got 3 specials on Netflix, and I just keep watching, going out and watching them over and over again. I'm watching a bit of Dave Chappelle. Today I was watching It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
What's that like? I keep seeing it, but I've not tuned in yet.
It's good. I'm on like the 12th season. I watched it years ago, but this is like the New Year season. It's finally out. So
right.
That's just bonkers, mate. But it's hilarious. It's really funny. But Sebastian, he's a dude I'm watching a lot of the now. He's a funny comedian. He's been on Joe Rogan's podcast and stuff like that. But I'll tell you a funny story. So when I was queued up to go into the Comedy Store, obviously you know what the Comedy Store is. It's one of the famous comedy spots in the world, basically. It's where your Joe Rogans, your Joey Diaz's, all them, Bill Burr's and that. So we're queued up to go inside. You can go every night and you can see, for like just a normal ticket price, you can see 40 comics in the one night, right? So they'll do like the 20-minute sets. Next one up, right away, bang, 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 just rattling like 40 comics. And they're all the best in the world. Basically, most of them are usually doing like practicing new material. Like this is where they see, is this any good? They'll go up there a wee bit. Right, is this bombing? Is this people liking that? Right, maybe write it down. Right, I want this. But that's where some people just drop in. You had like Dave Chappelle, Martin Lawrence, people that just drop in and like, oh, we've got Martin Lawrence has just come in, like, got on the stage and he's got to do a wee bit. Constantly like,
Jesus. So
you get a wee surprise every now and then, like every night, like people just pop in basically to try new material. So we're talking to these two people in the queue, right? I think the guy must have thought it was like McGregor or a fighter or some shit. the guy's got a bandana on, right? And he's got this beard. And he's with his missus. And I'm like, oh, have you ever been here? Is that American? I'm like, oh, no, but it was my second time, but it was my first time going out to see Joey Diaz. Oh, you're going to love it. Like, when we go in, you sit with us, okay? You sit with us. I just looked at her, I'm like, we ain't sitting with him, man. We ain't sitting with him. So they take us in, and so they position you, like, you sit here, you sit there. And it's like, this is the thing about the Comedy Store if you ever go over. It's a true 2-drink minimum, right? No matter what, if you don't drink, you need to buy 2 drinks.
Jesus.
So they fucking put us beside these motherfuckers, right? And I'm just like, oh, here you go. The guy's loud. So it's Sebastian's, like, halfway through, Sebastian Manicaro. And so he's like, so people come in all over the world here to come here, and your man stands up and just points to me like, Scotland! And I'm like, oh my God. And then Sebastian's like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, basically, I'm the comedian here. And then he's like, are you wearing a bandana, dude? Like, just starts ripping this guy for wearing a bandana, right? And I'm just thinking, please don't think this guy is with me. Please don't think. Hilarious. And the guy is he's taking it tight, man, this bandana, and he kind of goes away from a wee bit, right? So he's killing it. Yeah, he's probably my favourite night. The next guy up, Chris D'Elia. Chris D'Elia, obviously, you know.
Jesus, this is a stacked night you had.
Chris D'Elia, and your man's shouting out again, and just like that, like, dude, are you wearing a bandana? Just out of the blue, man. The full place just erupts, man. And Chris D'Elia's putting, like, I bet you, like, dressing up in the morning, putting a bandana on, like, this is what we do it for. Like, the whole place has gone mental. The guy ends up getting escorted out.
Jesus.
And he wasn't really saying much, and Chris D'Elia's like, oh, like, he wasn't really saying much, like, don't do it. The guy ends up coming back, sitting down, no bandana on, like, he must have told him to take it off. So, that's my story with Sebastian. He's got this, like, he's Italian, so he's got that thick Italian accent, and his gimmick is he hates people. He hates people in the way they act, basically. And it's just like, it's right up my street. So I've been watching a lot of him and The Wire, the Lego Death Star. I started picking up the guitar again, which you'll probably be happy to hear. Aye, so I'm trying to nail this C chord that's a cunt, man. The C chord is just killing my soul, man.
What are you going through with the guitar side of things? And now you try to learn, like, just chords, and now or you try to learn?
Yeah, I'm just trying to learn to go into one chord to the other, like in a steady pace, like C up to G to D, just like vary it up a wee bit, because like the songs that I love, like, and want to learn are pretty much they kind of chords. So if I can go for them, then I can start adding, like, the songs that I like and stuff like that. But right now I've got old fucking The Claw, you know what I mean? Trying to get that fucking C chord, and it's my brother's quite good in the guitar. I've got him stymieing me now. Just until he gets back on his feet and that. So
it's the toughest thing.
Try to help me a wee bit, not me.
It's honestly the toughest thing. Like, people that are watching this that know me, I've been playing a guitar since last May, and I've been going to lessons since last May, and I'm still, like, especially in lockdown, like, I'm getting 7-8 hours a week done in guitar now, which is good, but I'm just not doing any lessons. But I mean, see the stuff that I would say to you is the stuff that you hear for everybody, and I heard for everybody, and I was like, oh, that doesn't help. See the whole caged method, see that CAGED, you know how you get better at that? Just keep doing it. You know what I mean? Like, there's, and I heard for people when I was, like, guys in the gym that play guitar for years and all that, and I was talking to them about it, and I was like, how do I? And they're like, just keep repeating it. Just keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it. Like, Bomb Track with Rage Against the Machine is a song that I've just learned. And see, the intro of that is a million miles an hour. You know what I mean? And I thought it was the hardest thing ever. I kept doing it for months and months and months. And see, now it's slow, it's normal. You know what I mean? So it is just a 10,000 hours thing, I think, when it comes to the guitar. The one thing I would say in terms of series and documentaries and stuff, right? Ozark, if you've no gave that a shot yet.
I see a lot of people talking about that, man.
I'm in.
What it's about.
See, basically, without giving too much away, there's a guy that is a financial planner, financial advisor, and he takes on a client that's sketchy and starts washing money and then fucks up and has to repay back the client by any means possible. And it is brilliant. Like,
yeah, sounds good, man. A lot of people swear by it, so I'll maybe get a bash next.
I've got the attention span of a goldfish, and I'm in 3 series in it, and it's shit hot. You know what I mean? In terms of when you get back to normal and lockdown's finished, what's one of the first things that you want to kind of do? Have you set a kind of schedule up of things or anything?
Just punch somebody, choke somebody out. Like I miss my jiu-jitsu, I miss grappling, I miss touching people in very weird ways.
That's a fair point. I think leaving the majority of people, like, just getting out to a restaurant or just, you know what I mean, just like going somewhere to eat again or just being normal again is the kind of key, you know. Oh, you're frozen. You hear me? Wait a wee second. Must be the internet connection. I can hear you now.
I just like. You're good.
That says we're back to normal. Back to normal.
Cool.
Aye, just back to normal training. I take it is your kind of key when you get back to things.
I just miss competing. Like, jiu-jitsu is a big part of my life, and it's so good for like just like releasing like anything. Like your mental health, you just need to get out there, get a good work in, like a proper workout, a proper sparring session, proper hour of constant grappling. It's something I'm really missing now. Yeah. Obviously, like going to the football stuff like that, Celtic games, my own football team. So I'm in the semi-finals of the Scottish Cup, and I can't even it's not going to happen anymore. So that's a gutter. That's a big one.
So is that just going to be put back then?
No, I think it's got to be, the full season's got to be scrapped, man. And we're supposed to be in a cup final this Friday, the West of Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
So that's scrapped. The semi-finals of the Scottish Cup scrapped. We're top of the league, so we'll maybe get the league. But the Scottish Cup, man, my dream is to win the Scottish Cup since I've been a wee boy, and I get so close to a semi-final, and it's got to be fucking canned to next season.
Jesus, man. And I think, like, obviously, that's what you're seeing with kind of like SPL and stuff like that as it stands. I think is going to be the same.
Aye, that's
case.
A fucking shit. That's a shit show, innit? Who's running that shit, man? They've not got a clue.
That you always expect and always think like that people that are in that position, like they don't have under control. Because when something like that happens and you see that, you're like, what is?
I think it's just like the fucking what's happening with obviously the country. Like people, like, this is what they get paid for. Like, they've seen this coming, not me. So they're like, oh fuck, how do we handle this? Like, I think it's been handled pretty poorly for the get go. The whole if you're going to do a lockdown, you need to do a proper lockdown. Like, this is none's coming in, none's gone out, blah blah blah. But like, that's not my scene. So I kind of sit here and judge people. But it's kind of like the SFA and stuff like that. Like, I don't think anybody just knew what to do, or how to react to something like this. I mean,
I think the kind of the biggest way to look at it is like insurance companies didn't even know what to do, and their whole job is to insure you against things that are like out with the realms of possibility. You know what I mean? Like no insurer was insuring anybody for COVID-19. Like if it was a loss of business or a claim, like that just went, oh no, we can't because we didn't take that into consideration. So when they don't know what's happening and their job is to create statistics and stuff like that of the unexpected, like nobody's gonna know. You know what I mean? As a wee last parting shot, I always ask people this because this gets me to figure out a wee bit more about somebody as well. What is one thing, and I know you pretty well, but what is one thing that people wouldn't know about you, or that I maybe don't know about you either? Can be anything. I'll tell you mine when you tell me yours. Mine's is a bit out there as well.
Oh, like how explicit can I be here?
As explicit as possible. This is absolutely fine. Mine's is pretty explicit, so.
Right, I can't. I'm not saying that. I'm not setting the bar. I'm not setting the bar here at all. So I'll play it nice and safe and nice and smooth, right?
Right.
My dream is to travel all 50 states of America. That's my dream, and I've done like 20, nearly 20 so far. See, that's a nice calm one. That's a nice, easy one.
Have you done the whole Route 66 thing or whatever it is? Have you done that?
I've not done Route 66, which is straight across, but I've done two coasts. I've done some in the middle, some south and that, but I've not done like the actual route itself, no. Which I think it starts at Chicago and ends in like, I don't know, like California or
I was looking at that the other day. That would be something kind of cool that I'd want to do.
Oh, that'd be amazing. I'd love to do that.
Hire a Mustang and go for
it. But where am I going to next? I've got to Greece next, actually. I was supposed to be going to California next week, but that obviously got cancelled. So
when is Greece?
I think I just got to get just whenever this all goes down, man.
Yeah.
But I'm travelling Norway. I'm travelling California when Bellator say the new California dates good to go. Then I'll be going over it for that as well. Ideal. Gets you out and gets you about. Yeah. So what's yours? What's your thing?
Thought I was going to get away with that there. I was ready to segue onto a finisher there. Mine's probably, I would say the only people that will know this would be family, I think, like my mum and my dad and stuff like that. When I was, see how we can be here, right? So see, we can see, this is how explicit this is. See that finger, right? In comparison to that finger, right? So that one's longer, right? And goes down that way, whereas that one's more just like edged as normal, right? You can't really see it good with the light, right? But that finger was chopped off just to about there. And the reason why that finger was chopped off to about there is when I was 5, I used to be a womanizer. Not that I'm married anymore, as you can imagine. I'm a settled down man. But I used to be a womanizer, and I used to always chase the wee birds in and out of the lassies' toilets because I was interested to see what was happening in there, right? And and when I chased one of these girls into the toilet, she must have went into the bathroom. I'd turned around, and I must have put my hand out the door to stop the door. So I thought, and then I remember trying to like walk away, but I was stuck to this door. So I'd put my finger or my hand inside the edge of this door, and it was one of the big old heavy wooden doors that you used to get with a quick hinge, right? So this thing quick hinged on me, chopped 7/8 of my finger off. I actually remember standing with my hand in the door for like 5 seconds, 6 seconds, kind of looking at it and realising, oh shit, couldn't feel anything, and realising, oh, this has been chopped. Pulled the door out, my finger was hanging on with a thread, blood everywhere. I was 5, so I started screaming, ran all the way up the stairs to the head teacher, showed her it, she passed out, and then the Janny or somebody phoned an ambulance, and then I went away and get my fingers stitched on. And from that day onwards, I wasn't chasing any lassies anymore. That time had changed. So that's my one thing that people might not know about me. But
Jesus, man.
As I say to you anyway, it's good to do these kind of podcasts, and it's good to get you on as well, mate. So thanks for coming on. I appreciate that.
Enjoyed it, man. It's gets you talking a bit, especially I've not seen you in a while anyway. But
yeah,
it's good thing we need to talk to as much people as we can these days, innit?
100%.
Share stories like that and just have a good old chin wag and shoot the shit, man, because I enjoyed it.
That's it, especially during lockdown. Like, you need to stay sane and stay connected to people, you know. Where can people find you if they're looking to follow your career with MMA and such?
My Twitter, my Instagram accounts are Bungard, COWA Bungard. Just kind of like the turtles, basically. I'm green, I eat pizza, I do martial arts, so kind of similar. The Facebook page is Bad Guy Bungard. So Snapchat's a bad guy knows, but it's a lot of shite. Don't really do much. No dick pics coming. So pretty
On there.
much that. And I'm on social media a lot, man. Probably too much, but I think just with my job that I kind of need to be always out there and getting content out to my fans, interacting with my fans, interacting with my haters, because I love them all the same, man. I love them all the same, I do.
Chris is pretty active on social media, which is good, and he's got good pages to follow as well. They're always a good bit of a laugh as well. What I'll do as well is I'll pop in the show notes the links for Chris's Twitter, his Instagram and his Facebook, and I think I'm maybe going to get on Twitter on this lockdown. I feel as though I'm missing out on some stuff here, so I might subscribe myself and start a wee Twitter page.
Yeah.
But no, as I say, brother, thank you very much for coming through. Exactly. Thank you very much for coming through, and thanks for coming on, mate. And as always, if you did like and enjoy this episode, I shoot the shit a lot of the time, so subscribe, comment, leave me a link and a comment below, right in here, right in the comments. And if you're watching it on YouTube as well, then subscribe to this podcast. This is 10% Better with Chris Bungard. Thanks for coming on, mate. See you soon.
Cheers, man. Thank you, bro. Stay safe.